Angie Senger here for Old Men Stories Opry. And today on this beautiful springtime day in Minnesota, I'm joined by my good buddy Red Johnson, the songwriting machine, Red Johnson. How you doing today, Red?
Angie, I'm doing fine. I'm doing okay. Yes.
And we're sitting here in the comfort of your living room here in beautiful Minnesota.
Yes.
You call this Ramsey?
No, this is Champlin.
Champlin. You live in Champlin, Minnesota. Near the Mississippi River.
Not too far. Not too far. The Mississippi is running high right now.
Yeah, it is in the springtime. Had a lot of snow this winter while I was gone in Arizona.
And a lot of rain.
So do you do your own snow blowing and
No,
shoveling?
I did, but I have a service come in, keep my driveway clear while I'm not here. So otherwise, people think I don't live here.
Yeah.
So we hire that done. But I mowed along. Still can do that.
Still could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a beautiful, beautiful place to live right here. Just a really nice part of town.
I used to have pheasants and deer and everything out here in the back, but
now there's houses.
yeah, now there's houses, and we even had a cougar here one time a few years ago, and he made the national news.
Really?
Yeah, when the cougar was in Champlin,
oh boy,
he come down and went down along the river, and I don't know whatever happened to him, but nobody ever got him or seen him.
Well, that's
again.
good. That's good to think.
Yeah.
You hate when they have to shoot him and do something else to him.
Yeah.
So I love to sit and listen to you talk about the songs that you've written, and you've written so many. How many songs do you think? How many songs you have recorded that you've written?
At least 125. I suppose at least. There's 10, 12 CDs. Working on the next one. Yeah. Well, you write them. What are you going to do with them, you know?
No, you do. You write them.
Yeah,
what are you going to do with them? You're always writing a song.
I am.
And I suppose when you're writing a song, like you say you're writing one now, you've got one you're writing, you've probably got a dozen that are almost
in the mill.
That you're churning around.
They're in your subconscious.
But that's your process. You churn them around until
my
they
process,
come out on paper.
I'm working now on some songs that I probably wrote in the 70s and 80s that I started then. But the ideas are good. As long as it's a solid idea, you can work on it and get something out of it. And
is it easy for you to get the meter right? And
pretty much, yeah.
I suppose you're an old hand at it. It just comes like spreading peanut butter, I suppose.
No, that keyboard is pretty nice. You pick off the drum on there, you know, it keeps you honest. And so I use keyboard a lot. And I can handle that because I can see what I'm doing. And I play guitar. I do my own guitar on there, rhythm guitar. Lead I never did figure out. Because every time I was going to practice on that, I'd start writing, and then I went to practice sessions. So I never did get any better than I am right now. Yeah.
Well, now the song we're going to talk about today is one of my favorites. But I haven't heard all of your songs. I don't think I've heard them all yet. But I do like this one. Tell us about this song.
There's a Grand Ole Opry show playing somewhere. Okay,
yeah. I'm sure a lot of people have heard this song. Have heard this song.
That song, I was working with Bud Auger at the time. Bud wrote The Violet and the Rose, and I worked with him for 30 years.
Where?
He lives in Roseville, over here. And he wrote Simple Simon, Frank Thompson, some of that stuff. And so we wrote together a lot. And part of The Violet and the Rose, Johnny Western, Johnny Western recorded that first. And he had 3 verses in it. It was a little bit too long. And so I went with Bud down the Flame one time, and Jimmy Dickens was there, because I knew Jim pretty well. And Jim said, let me take it to Nashville, see what I can do with it, The Violet and the Rose. And so he took it down there and got it to Mel Tillis. Of course, the rest is history. I was Mel's first big hit.
Wow. Yeah, I love that song.
And Mel wrote the second verse for it. That's how that all comes down.
Oh.
Well, anyway, at about that time in '64, when Patsy Cline and Cowboy Copas and Jack Angle and all them got killed in the plane crashes and the car wrecks and what have you, the emotions were pretty high, including ours. We thought, well, it'd be kind of nice to just write a little tribute for them people. And so we did. We wrote this song, There's a Grand Ole Opry Show Playing Somewhere. And Bud thought, well, it'd be nice to write it to a melody that people might recognize, you know. So the format of the song is, There's a Star-Spangled Banner Waving Somewhere. That's the format we wrote to. And we recorded to do that. Well, then they wouldn't let us use it. The big boys from New York or wherever, they said, no, you can't change our song. So now we don't have a melody. So we go back in the studio. I'm pasting through everything I can think of for a PD, public domain melody, and I come up with the Wild Side of Life melody, which is public domain. And that fit the song really good, and I'm glad almost now that it worked out that way. But now we got two songs. You got a melody to recognize, and you got a format to recognize, so it worked out well. So anyway,
which is the one that you released? Which did you record?
Yeah, the Wild Side of Life, or I'm Thinking Tonight of My Blue Eyes, that's all the same melody. And the songs become public domain now, 70 years after the death of the writer. So, just more than 70 years since I'm Thinking Tonight of My Blue Eyes was. So anyway, you may not recognize one name in here as Jack Anglin when you hear the song. And Jack Anglin was half of Johnny and Jack. And Johnny was Kitty Wells' husband. And that's how that hung together. And he got killed in a car wreck on the way to Patsy Cline's funeral. So the emotions were high, and we recorded this thing. We took it over to the station, and of course, them days you could do that, and they'd play it, and the phone lines lit up, and they stayed that way. And Ralph Beeble was the disc jockey at that time, and Smokey Smith from Des Moines was at our session, and he's a big DJ down around Des Moines. So he felt akin to it. He took it down there, and the darn thing took off for him. So then Capitol got wind of this, and they picked it up and put it in they released a single on it first, the 45, that's that one up there. And then it wound up in the World of Country Music album, which it's a double album. Most people got that, but they don't know it. It's two albums with 24 of us on there. Buck Owens and Glenn Campbell and Sonny James. Anybody
And
was
Red
on,
Johnson.
Yeah, and I got in the middle of that.
Yeah.
So anybody who was on Capitol at that time wound up on that album. So it was a big album, and it's been good for me. Yeah.
You bet.
Good. Yeah, my claim to fame.
Your claim to fame.
My claim to fame.
We're happy about it. And now we get to listen to it. So here's my favorite Red Johnson song. There's a Grand Ole Opry
Show Playing Somewhere.
Grand Ole Opry Show Playing Somewhere.